Welcome to the Smiles Are Wild channel, brought to you by Pediatric Dental Associates and Orthodontics. My name is Amy Morgan. We will be bringing you fun and educational videos weekly to help you take better care of your child's oral health care needs at home and on the go. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to see all of our new videos. And remember, it doesn't really matter how you take care of your teeth as long as you take care of them from the beginning. Today we're going to be covering tools, tips, and tricks that you can use if your child has braces while you're traveling. Now, these things apply whether or not they're traveling or not, but we just figured with summer coming up, road trips, camps, all kinds of stuff going on, any kind of vacation, that you would need to be prepared because most likely in all of those events, you would not be near your orthodontist. So we're going to talk a little bit about the items you definitely need and then kind of some tricks on how to pack those up and kind of what you can do to take care of that. So one of the things we really want to stress is that, just because you're away from home doesn't mean that your oral hygiene has to go away. So even as adults, kids, anybody, make sure you're packing a toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss. You can pack flossers, which sometimes is a little bit easier for kids and things like that. We're going to go over an orthodontic option for those here in a little bit. But, your oral hygiene can't take a vacation with you. So you need to make sure that at minimum, you have a toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss packed with you everywhere you go. Okay. So that's whether you're going on a road trip, vacation, camp, anything like that. Just make sure you're packing that with you or your kids. Then if in addition to that, if they have braces, there's a few items you're going to want to make sure they have with them, especially if you're not going to be with them. So one of the major things is going to be wax. So here at our office, Dr. Jason gives every patient a container of wax. So I'm not sure how much of all this. There we go. It's pretty good. Okay. So you can see this is just a container of wax. It actually has our information on here, so you can call us if you need us. But it has the wax inside. And then let's just say, for instance, you don't have your pack anymore and you don't know, where you put it or whatever. I actually found wax for sale at our local Walmart. So you would be able to purchase this at any Walmart, any Walgreens for the most part. And it has a little plastic pack inside too. So if you're packing for camp and you can't get into the orthodontist, I found this for about $2 at our local Walmart. So again, you want to make sure they have wax. This would be for any kind of poking wires. If a wire comes out or is shifting anywhere, it can start to poke in the back of their mouths and it can start to kind of tear up their gums. Also, for any brackets that may be causing irritation, you can place this over the top of those at any time to keep them from being irritating, okay? So wax is very, very important. And that's just for a protective measure, okay? Another thing you want to make sure they have with them is if they are in their rubber bands. So if they're wearing elastics on their braces for anything, you need to make sure that they have a full pack of them as they travel. So call us, get those picked up if you need to, and make sure that they are with them. So you want to make sure they have their wax and their rubber bands. This is very important because you want to make sure that they're not losing all the work that they've already done with their elastics while they're gone to camp, because even in a week's time, they could lose some of the work they've already done. So make sure they have their elastics or rubber bands. And then some other items you can use to kind of help them get their braces super clean while they're gone are, we have what we call proxy brushes or proxa brushes. I found a variety of them at our Walmart. I do believe that we give you one in your pack when you start braces, but these are called go-betweens, proxa brush go-betweens, and they actually come in different sizes. So if you need a wider option, it has wide, and then it has moderate, and then it has ultra tight. So if you have really tight spaces, it's a smaller brush head. But yeah, they come in 3 different sizes, 3 different colors too. So if, they care about what color they are or anything like that. But you want to make sure you have a couple of these packed up for them. And then the other thing would be their flossers for their braces. So these are specific flossers made just for braces. And all the instructions are on them on how to do them and how to fold them outwards. But I found these at our local Walmart, and I'm not really sure how well that's going to pick up, but they're called Plackers Ortho Pick. And these are designed and made specifically for children with braces. Okay, so you want to make sure they have some of these packed. One for each day. They're not reusable. So if they're going to be gone for a week, give them like 10. Just so they have enough, okay? And these are safe for braces as well. Then we want to make sure that if they're not going to use floss picks, there are things called floss threaders, which help them get between their braces as well. And so they look like a little eye, and the eye of a needle, and you would thread the floss through this top part here, and then that would help them get between their braces. Okay. And these two options again are found at our local Walmart. Okay. So we've got all that. And then as far as just oral health, if you're really worried about them and bad breath and things like that, and maybe brushing just isn't always enough for them, you can also purchase tongue cleaners. So I found two different options. This one is by Dentec, and it's actually called a tongue cleaner. And this is a scraper. So you actually would use it and scrape it on your tongue to get all the bacteria and everything off of there. But then they also have just an actual brush, which has a little silicone brush here that they can actually brush their tongue. And so we really believe in making like a clean mouth is a healthy mouth. And then especially with them having braces on, they've really got to be paying attention to their oral hygiene routine, because with those braces on, it tends to have more and more can stick there. So they've got to make sure that they are brushing properly at least 2 times a day, and that they're flossing between those teeth to avoid any what we call decal spots, but it's decalcification that comes from them not brushing while they have their braces on. And that's why they get those white spots on their teeth. Okay. So again, these are tongue cleaners that you can purchase again at a local Walmart. And we recommend these for anybody, even if you don't have braces. These are really good tools, especially as your kids get older and they learn to, really utilize a toothbrush and things like that. These work really well. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about what kind of things you would need in case of an emergency for orthodontics. So a couple of the calls we get are for poking wires and broken brackets. So usually if a bracket comes off, you're totally fine. Call us, get into the next available appointment. Poking wires are a little bit different because sometimes they're very irritating and they can cause a lot of pain. So one of the things you could do is put wax on the wire where it's poking, and that will keep it from rubbing into their cheek. But another thing you can do is if that wire is really long and you're having an issue with it and we can't get you into the orthodontist, like because they're at camp or you're on vacation or you're not near your local orthodontist, then you can actually use nail clippers to clip the wire. So you would just clip the wire closest to the next bracket that it's in, clip that wire as close as you can, and then put some wax on the end to keep it from poking, and then just get into us as soon as we can and we'll replace that wire for you. Sometimes you can actually thread the wire back through where it may need to be going, and you can just use a basic pair of tweezers for that. So we recommend when you're traveling to make sure that for an emergency type kit that you have wax, nail clippers, and tweezers. So these are very handy to keep with you. And what I did today was I just went and ran to our Walmart and got a soap box. Most people don't use bar soap anymore. Some people do, but and you can put everything in here. So the wax would fit in here, and then these tweezers should fit in here. And then the nail clippers would fit in here as well. And you can even like make it really cute. Like if they're going to camp or something, you can make it super cute by like putting their name on it with a vinyl maker or have a friend. You can also write on it with a Sharpie. If I can get the nail clippers open. But you can actually make this cute little travel kit to take with you. And then they would be able to possibly fix their braces on the road, even if you weren't there with them. Okay. So everything just fits neatly in here. So you can see I have my wax, my tweezers, and my nail clippers all in this little thing. I think I paid like 50 cents for this. So they're just all in here. Again, you can put their name on it. You can put 4 braces. When they're checking in at camp, you can say, hey, they have an emergency kit with you, with them for their braces. But this way they would have the items with them that they need if they were to get a poking wire or anything for their braces started to cause some irritation. They would already have the tools with them. Another thing, which I know at camp and things like that, it's a little different with what you can bring. And it won't exactly fit in here with the wax, but well, maybe it will. Yeah, it will. Okay, yay. Is you can get a little travel size thing of Motrin, Advil, whatever they need, because maybe they got their braces tightened right before they went to camp. And so they're going to need a little bit of pain relief. So any kind of little travel size thing of over-the-counter pain medication, we usually recommend Motrin or ibuprofen for those. They can also use Tylenol, but all of this fits in here. And you could actually roll up the rubber bands as well and put them in there. And then you would be guaranteed that they have everything that they need to take care of their braces while you're on the road together or while they're at camp. Another thing is if you have braces with us, we usually provide a little bag. And so all of this could fit in here with their toothpaste and their toothbrush and their floss picks and everything, okay? So it just kind of depends on exactly where they're going or what your needs are, but there are plenty of ways to get these packed up. The other thing we want to talk about is retainers. So make sure if they're traveling with their retainers, that they're keeping them in their cases. So you can buy different kinds of cases. Even a soapbox case would work for their retainer, but make sure that they have a retainer to keep it in, especially at camp. When they're eating, they're taking it out, putting it back in if they have the removable one, okay? And then if they have their permanent ones, you want to make sure that they're brushing and flossing in those areas and taking really good care of it. The other thing is with their retainers, with their clear retainers, you want to make sure that they're brushing it with a toothbrush and toothpaste, and make sure that they're keeping it super clean, and that they're putting it back in their case as quickly as we can. And we know that as kids, these things, don't always happen, but you can. You just want to make sure, especially if you're not going to be with them, that you label anything that might be there. So label their retainer cases, label maybe their emergency kit, then they would have it with them. Again, we know at camp sometimes they have rules about the over-the-counter medicines, and that is totally fine. Just make sure that they have the other items that they need. So that's really all that we have today. We just want to stress that as an orthodontic provider in Northwest Arkansas, we strive to make sure that if you have an emergency, if you have something going on with your braces and it's not your regularly scheduled appointment, that you can call our office and then we can try to get you in within a timely manner to get those items fixed. We also understand that a lot of people travel during this time, and that's why we wanted to kind of come on, make sure that people were aware that there were little ways that you could kind of fix and manipulate the things that you need to fix until you can get back into our office. We hope this has been some helpful information, and we want to thank you again for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and go visit us on smilesarwild.com.